Welcome to Beijing. Now let's start our new tour. We'll first start at the Tiananmen Square. Then we walk up from the square to the Forbidden City. Big day.
Tiananmen Square was originally a ceremonial space used by the emperor on very rare occasions when he actually left the palace to visit outside the city walls. The Imperial Way crossed over Tiananmen Square. It was a 17th century square bordered by 4 walls with 4 gates to the north, south, east, and west, and most of it was destroyed to build Chairman Mao's mausoleum. But originally it served as a foreground, a place that highlighted the rule of the emperor who was tucked away inside the palace. Currently, to get inside the palace, you have to go through a security checkpoint, including an X-ray machine and a bag search. That and $10 and you're in. In 1406, construction began on the Ming Dynasty Palace in Beijing.
The name of the Forbidden City. Forbidden City was built in 1406. After 14 years construction, it was completed in 1420.
Construction was completed in 1420, so only 14 years and 1 million workers later, the palace complex was completed. The moat outside the walls is actually 20 feet deep and 171 feet wide. It's enormous when you look at it in person. The Forbidden City is a rectangle and it covers a surface area of about 180 acres. The surrounding wall is 26 feet high and 28 feet wide at the base. The only way to really appreciate its massive size is to actually see it in person. Inside it has 9,999 rooms inside of 980 buildings. This is a structure which is around 600 years old, and it has the largest collection of ancient wooden structures in the entire world. It's really massive, and it's so intricately painted with so many details that you can't even fathom it unless you see it in person. Pictures just simply do not do it justice. It's filled with ancient porcelain, jade, beautiful gardens, plazas, and just more beauty in one place than you could possibly imagine. It was designed to be the center of the ancient walled city of Beijing, and it's enclosed in a larger walled area called the Imperial City. The walkway for the emperor to climb up to his throne from the inner courts is beautifully carved with dragons, and it's actually the largest stone carving in China, carved from a single piece of marble. There's several thrones throughout the Forbidden City. The original purpose of the palace was to protect and serve the Ming Dynasty clan. Later in 1644, the Ming Dynasty actually lost control of the palace and the Manchus took over possession. In 1860, during the Opium War, and again in 1900, when the Western forces briefly took over control of the palace after Empress Cixi fled from the Forbidden City during the Boxer Rebellion, leaving it to be occupied by forces of the treaty powers until the following year. Now, after being home for 24 emperors and 14 of the Ming Dynasty and 10 of the Qing Dynasty, the Forbidden City stopped being the political center for China in 1912 with the abdication of Emperor Puyi, who was the last emperor of China, and he abdicated his throne in 1912. He actually ruled as a child after being installed by his aunt, who was the Empress Cixi. Most rooms inside the palace had names such as the Hall of Union and Peace, and above the Empress's throne hangs a board with words inscribed which has a meaning, doing nothing or taking no action. My friend told me it kind of means go with the flow, which is a reference to the I Ching in the Book of Changes. Other halls were called the Hall of Earthly Tranquility and the Palace of Heavenly Purity, where the Emperor and Empress slept. The Hall of Earthly Tranquility was the residence of the Empress during the Ming Dynasty. And you can see that because many of the buildings were made, most of them made from wood, that the paint is peeling on them and they have to constantly be doing repairs to keep up with the the maintenance that needs to be done on the palace. Another one of my favorite places in the palace was the Pavilion of Floating Greenery, which was a square pavilion with a pyramid-shaped roof covered with green glazed tiles and edged with yellow glazed tiles. It was beautiful, and the day was gorgeous, so all of the photos were really colorful and bright. It was fun to explore and know you're walking where emperors walked.
That's the afternoon room full of the animals. So the last largest one, that's the Dragon King. The first one is the immortal on the chicken back. From the immortal to the dragon, these are all the baby dragons. So according to Chinese people's tradition, we think one Dragon King has 9 baby sons. So they put the dragon family there. How come? In order to keep off no fire. The dragon family could use their mouths to spray water to put off the fire. That's the reason. All the wooden structures. Nice. Everywhere, same. Everywhere. Amazing.
So along the ridges near the corners, you'll see these rows of small figures placed, which they believed were there for protection. The yellow glaze is reserved for the emperor, obviously. And even the ceilings inside the palace are beautifully painted. My favorite part was just the intricate detail, the enormous, beautiful red doors. And I can't wait to go back and have my next trip to the Forbidden City. I love Beijing.